Hey, so you've been hearing a little something about the Ultimate Branding Experience by Tanya Aliza, and you aren't sure if this is something that's for you, if it's something you should be considering investing in, or if it's even worth the money. That's what we're going to talk about today in this episode, so stick around. If you have not met me before, my name is Stacey Hall. My mission is to simplify online marketing and make it fun for entrepreneurs to increase their confidence, influence, and results. So if you've never been here before, you should consider subscribing. I do come out with training regularly to help you build your business, both here on my blog and on my YouTube channel. So go get yourself subscribed, and we're going to get right into this topic today. So I want to do for you a really honest and to the point review of Tanya Aliza's Ultimate Branding Experience so that I can help you to make a decision about whether or not it's something that you want to invest in. I'm a big believer in investing in events, and I do think it's absolutely essential to your long-term success. However, there's so many of them out there. How do you know what to pick and what's really going to work for you? I attended Tanya's Ultimate Branding Experience in 2017. It just happened. I just got home, so it's really top of mind. This year, it was at the Gaylord Palms Resort in Orlando, Florida. And I have a lot of information to share with you that's going to help you make your decision. The first thing I want to tell you is that this is not something for the faint of heart. This mastermind is really designed for somebody who's serious about their business and who's really looking to take it to the next level. Tanya actually orchestrated 6 in-depth, hour-long or so pregame sessions that were delivered by webinar. And in each webinar, we tackled a subject matter or a main point of focus that was going to prepare us for the mastermind. So each one of these webinars was pretty intense in and of themselves, and they had major amounts of homework that went with them. So it was designed to create a level playing field between all the masterminders before we even arrived. So in these pregame sessions, we covered things like discovering your perfect avatar, your customer avatar, knowing your target audience, really dialing that in. We mapped out our branded giveaway that we are going to use as our freemium to build our email list, and we constructed a three-step funnel from beginning to end during the pregame, okay? This wasn't the mastermind, this was the pregame. So what I'm saying to you is, this is no joke. This woman is designing this mastermind to truly have an impact on your business. So who is this definitely not for? Definitely not for people who are just dabbling, playing around, who aren't serious, and who aren't willing to do the work. So once we arrived at the mastermind itself, it was 3 days. It was a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday. And as I mentioned earlier, it took place at the Gaylord Palms Resort in Orlando this year. What a beautiful space. So my first point of review is the actual location where it was held. Tanya chose a spectacular location. It was so beautiful and inviting. The entire resort was in this sort of what we call the biodome while we were there. It was enclosed. So even though it was raining torrentially the whole time we were there, which totally sucks, it's like Florida, you're supposed to be the sunshine state. But anyhow, it was raining the whole time we were there pretty much, but it didn't impact us because we were in this crazy biodome. So it was a super beautiful spot, great rooms, great location. So extra check mark for Tanya on that part of the review. Loved the space. Now, the one thing I wasn't so crazy about was the actual room, but I mean, super nitpicking, right? Because this can change from year to year. The room wasn't super inviting. It's not Tanya's fault, but it's just the way it was. But it was the perfect size for 30 people, which is what we had at that mastermind. And it had us all facing each other so that we could communicate with one another and really get down deep into the subject matter and meld minds, which is what a mastermind is all about. So that worked out really well. Now, the 3-day structure, just to let you know, we basically worked, the first day we started a little bit later, but typically we worked from sunup until sundown. There wasn't a whole lot of sleeping going on. We were there to work. Tanya made that very clear, and we followed suit. So I'll just go over some of the basics of what we covered while we were there to give you an idea of what you are investing your time and money into. So day one, we covered a lot of ground right off the hop. We got in there, we talked about how to think like a marketer, how to really, again, dial in that target market, really get to know who it is we're trying to help, who we're talking to, because if you don't know that, you really don't have a business. She went really into depth with that, and we immediately got to work fine-tuning and perfecting our titles and taglines for our branded giveaways, which were going to form the foundation of the funnel that we built and the basis for how we actually, get leads into our business and build our list. Tanya also shared her perfect sales formula on that day. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You got to go and find out. Day two, we went deep into Facebook ads. We covered everything you could possibly think of to do with Facebook ads, which is so awesome because that's an area a lot of people really struggle with. We talked about how to know what objective to choose, which objectives are more successful. We talked about how to determine your audience, how to create custom audiences, lookalike audiences. We covered pixels. We covered everything you can think of. It was amazing. And then day two, we got trained by Justice Eagan, who wrote the course, Social Testimonial Profits. I'll put a link in the description of the video if you want to check it out, about leveraging story ads on Facebook. Very, very impactful and powerful kind of advertising to do on Facebook. So we then set about actually creating our own story ad. Everybody in the mastermind had an hour to write our very own story ad, along with help from Tanya and Cesar and Justice as well. It was crazy. It was amazing, but it was crazy. She was pushing us to really do better, and everybody was working super duper hard. So again, who is this not for? If you're gonna flip out and lose your mind, if you have a technical issue, or if you're falling a little behind the group, or if ideas don't come to you immediately, if you're gonna lose your mind, then maybe you need to do a bit more mindset work before you hop on this mastermind. But if you are ready to learn and you're ready to get that business to the next level and start having massive success, then I suggest that you should definitely attend. Tanya also shared her perfect video formula for how you should actually structure your videos to be most impactful and have the best results, which was great. And then day three came on. By then, people were starting to get into their stride. They were feeling, quite accomplished because we had done our story ads the day before and run ads with them, and people were starting to get leads, my friend. We had people getting 5 leads, 10 leads. We had people who were approaching 100 leads near the end of day two, which is, that's crazy. It's awesome, right? So people were starting to feel really good in their own skin, and they were starting to really feel how much this mastermind was impacting their business. On day three, we had a photo shoot, which was super cool. One of Tanya's right-hand people, Jesse Richards, took everyone out on the grounds and did some professional photographs so that we can use in our social media promotion, which is amazing, right? It took a little bit of time. It took a few hours, which is kind of a little bit of a leg in the day. It was one of the pieces of feedback that we actually gave to Tanya, that maybe the photo shoot might be handled a little differently to maximize the time we're there. But again, nitpicking, such a small thing considering, all the amazing things that were happening there. We talked about converting your leads, ins and outs of that. We talked about running your own Facebook group. So popular right now and so impactful. We talked at length about creating automation in your business, especially automation as it pertains to bringing new business builders and customers into your network marketing business, if that's something that you're building. Very, very impactful. And she also talked about her and Cesar Rodriguez, her husband, their method for starting a rep off properly. Wow. Super eye-opening. Are you catching this? Are you catching how much incredible information was shared in this mastermind? It was kind of mind-blowing, really. So that was basically the structure. The little added bonuses, Tanya came along with her husband, Cesar Rodriguez. If you don't know him, he's like the closer in our industry. So awesome to have him on board. Justice Eagan, of course, was there training for his story ads and just hanging out, helping us out with all our stuff. He's a great copywriter. So she had some really great talent there to help us all out. She also had her two right-hand girls, Ismarie Leon, who handles basically a lot of the insides of her business for her and with her, and also Jessie Richards, who is her social media design girl, right? So the two of them were tremendously helpful as well during the whole mastermind. Lunches were included for the weekend days that we were there. There was a little graduation ceremony, certificates were given out. There were even some prizes for coming up with great taglines, and I won one. Yay! So that was great. So if I was to summarize my review, I've given you a lot of information to think about, I know. But if I was to summarize my review, I would say this. For what this mastermind cost, and I'm not going to give you the exact total because depending on when you watch this, it might not be the exact same thing that I paid, but for a mastermind in and around the $5,000 mark, seriously, the value we got was unparalleled. Tanya Aliza is one of those people. She's a very tactical trainer. She is not hovering under theory at all, really. She gives you the theory, but she's very precise, step by step, and exacting in her teaching style. So it doesn't matter where you're at. If you're serious about learning this, you can pick it up. She gives you very clear instructions so that you can follow along and understand, which was amazing, right? She laid bare for all of us exactly what she does. Now think about that. You have a 7-figure earner, somebody who has a 7-figure business who's telling you exactly what she does every day. We were all there furiously taking notes, taking like screen grabs of everything we possibly could. I mean, this is like getting the manuscript for 7 figures. Seriously, for $5,000, what? There's not too many people in our space who would be that open and giving to give their entire content strategy, their step-by-step, exactly what they do. I promise you there aren't many, if any. So having said that, unless it's not the right time, unless you're not one who wants to work hard, unless you don't believe in investing in yourself, in which case it's game over for you anyway, right? Unless any of those things are true, you will want to get to this mastermind next year if you can. I really highly encourage you to do so. Again, it may not be the right time for you. I mean, circumstances being what they are, but if you can make it possible, I highly recommend and encourage Tanya Aliza's Ultimate Branding Experience. It was super life-changing for me, and I'm really, really glad that I went. Okay, question of the week. Have you ever gone to a high-level mastermind like this? Have you invested in something that was designed to push your business forward? I'd love to hear about it. Let me know what you thought and what you got out of it. Share in the comments below. Always excited to hear about you and your business. And by all means, if you got value from this review, please share it with your teammates because some of them might be looking at investing in themselves as well, and perhaps this will help them with making the decision. There should be a share button somewhere around this video. Have yourselves an awesome day. I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye for now.